Hello friends, welcome to technical and option chain analysis. So before we start our option chain analysis, let's see what has Nifty done today. So if we see yesterday's closing, that is around at 11,430, and if we see today's opening, it is around at 11,465. It means almost 35 points of gap up opening. So now if we see the first 30-minute charts, we can see the Nifty try to go up, but if we see this second candle, this is a shooting star pattern. So if the trend is uptrend and if we see the shooting star pattern, then this indicates the trend can be reversed. And if we see from the very next candle, Nifty try to go further down. So but if we see yesterday's chart, we can clearly see this 11,420 is a strong support level. So if we see over here that again Nifty tried to go upside, but again it was rejected. And if we see over here, see over here, Nifty tried to go below to 11,420, but every time it was rejected. We can see none of the candle closed below to the 11,420. And one another reason is we have in previous videos we have discussed that now Nifty is in a uptrend, and if we draw the trend line, see, this is the uptrend line. This is the first point, and this is the second point. And if we see over here, see, Nifty took a support of this trend line, and finally Nifty reversed and started the uptrend. But if we can clearly see over here that 11,470 acted as a strong resistance even in the first 30-minute candlesticks. And if we see again the last 30-minute candles, we can clearly see that 11,430 act as a strong resistance. And if we see the closing is around 11,471. So now let's go to the option chain analysis and we'll try to find out support and resistance for the 17th of October. So first of all, we'll study the puts to find out support, and then we'll study the calls to find out the resistance. So as the closing is at 11,464, we will start our analysis at 11,500. So let's see what we have at 11,500. So at 11,500, we can see the net change is minus 46, and as the change in open interest is 2 lakh contracts, it means the put writers or put seller sold the contracts at price 11,500, and the cumulative open interest is 5.6 lakh contracts. Now if we see further above side at 11,400, we can see the net change is minus 34, and the change in open interest is almost 8 lakh contracts. And if we see the cumulative open interest, this is almost 25 lakh contracts. It means again the put writers or put seller sold the contracts at 11,400 strike price. And if we see further down at 11,300, we can see the net change is minus 18, and the change in open interest is minus 4.2 lakh contracts. It means the put buyers who bought the contracts at this strike price 11,300, they have unwind their position at 11,300. This indicates now the panic condition at strike price 11,300. The traders thinks that Nifty can sustain above to the 11,300, so that's why they are unwinding their positions at strike price 11,300, which indicates the bullishness in the Nifty. So after studying these three strike prices, we can clearly see that 11,400 is going to be our first support, and if Nifty try to break to this, then 11,300 is going to be our very strong support. But even that for tomorrow, it will be little difficult for Nifty to go further down than 11,400. Reason being, if we see the highest change in open interest is at strike price 11,400, and even if we see the highest cumulative interest is at 11,400. So this is going to be a very strong support for the Nifty for the 17th of October. So now let's go to the call side and we'll try to find out resistance for the Nifty. If we see at 11,500, we can see the change in open interest is almost 5 lakh contracts, and the net change is minus 1.8. It means the call writers or call seller sold the contracts at strike price 11,500. Now if we see for both side at 11,400, we can see the net change is plus 8, and the change in open interest is minus 4.2 lakh contracts. It means The call writers or call sellers who sold the contracts at the strike price 11,400, they have unwind their positions. This again indicates that 11,400 is going to be a very strong support for tomorrow. Now, if we see for the downside at 11,600, we can see the change in open interest is almost 1.8 lakh contracts, and the cumulative open interest is almost 15 lakh contracts. So, if we see if we compare the 11,500 and 11,600, we can see the highest cumulative open interest is at 11,500, and if we see the change in open interest, that is also highest at 11,500 compared to 11,600. So 11,500 is going to be a major strike price for tomorrow, and if Nifty try to break this 11,500, then 11,600 is going to be our second strong resistance. So according to my analysis, if we want to bound a Nifty in a range, then for the 17th October, it is going to be a 11,400 to 11,600. So thank you friends for watching this video. If you like it, then please subscribe our channel and hit the like button. Thank you friends.